Hello, you've caught me thinking about how lucky we all are to be alive right now.
Oh, cool. The pound's now worth 4 baked beans.
Yeah, ignoring politics, economics and the impending irreversible devastation of the floating space rock we call home, 2017 is a great time to be alive, mainly because games. They're bigger, slicker, prettier and more immersive than ever before, wowing us with innovation after innovation, capturing the micro-level subtleties of actors' performances and letting us fight tortoises the size of a mountain.
In addition to this, there are games that strip out all the fancy stuff and take us back to where it all began.
Games that push the medium forward while wearing its history like a badge of honour. Games that make you feel like a 7-year-old kid in an arcade again, begging your mum for a pocket money advance so you could fail to beat Street Fighter 2 another 16 times. Games that take you back to long, dark nights huddled under your duvet playing first-person shooters you weren't really allowed to. A pillow shoved under the door to stop the fuzzy glow of your old portable TV leaking down the corridor into your parents' bedroom.
Games that prove old school is still the best school. Here are 7 of those games.
First up is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, a game that confidently straddles the divide between modernism and old school like a man standing like this wearing a PSVR headset. Cool. Resi 7 freshens things up with a first-person perspective, a first for the series, and by shifting the focus away from an identikit mass of undead cannon fodder and onto heart-poundingly tense one-on-one encounters with the horrifying Baker family.
This first-person less-is-more approach to survival horror worked brilliantly for the likes of Outlast and even the PT demo.
And yet, Resi 7 has somehow moulded this fresh approach into an experience that feels more like Resident Evil than any Resident Evil since the PS1 days. You're no longer a mountain of muscle with 6 Uzis and a rocket launcher, but a regular guy who finds himself trapped, mutilated and fighting to survive against odds that seem at best bad, at worst completely impossible. Have you seen how dark this place is? Oh my god, how is he still alive?
The fear is well and truly back with Resident Evil 7. The fear of what's around the next corner. The fear of running out of ammo.
The fear of opening that door in case there's something disgusting behind it. But you go for it anyway, because what if it's a save room? Oh, thank God, you beautiful, non-dangerous, ammo-filled 4 walls from heaven, you. I think I'll just stay here. But then you don't, because Resi 7 has been perfectly designed to be ever so slightly more compelling than it is scary.
And it is bloody scary.
You have to push on. The game almost sadistically drip feeds you keys, weapons, bits of stuff that goes together to make better bits of stuff that then solves puzzles, all while mad, unkillable nutjobs shadow your every footstep equipped with shovels, lanterns, and some really unsettling dialogue.
It won't be long before I find you and kill you.
Cool, it won't be long before I conserve my ammo and run away.
Hey, look, it's Dave. What are you playing there, Dave?
A JRPG.
JRPG.
A JRPG called Ninokuni Wrath of the White Witch, a game so good even Dave overcame his irrational fear of anything remotely turn-based to see what all the fuss was about. The fuss,
worldwide critical acclaim, over 1 million sales, multiple industry awards,
was about a game with a heartwarming story, likeable characters, a gorgeous, fully explorable world, an enigmatic villain, and a searing soundtrack. Everything, basically, that made me fall head over heels in love with the likes of Final Fantasy, Breath of Fire, Dragon Quest, Star Ocean, Grandia, and the Tales series back in the day. Because my favourite thing about Ninokuni wasn't its animation or its soundtrack or its battle system, it was the feeling I got when I played it. That feeling of being totally lost in a fantastical world to the point where you forget to worry about whether or not it's turn-based or real-time, but are instead engrossed in the journey of your characters, both physical and emotional.
Plus you get to level up and evolve monsters and feeds their stats with chocolate and ice cream. Oh, I love JRPG status screens.
Ninokuni was proof that a JRPG doesn't need to be AAA Snazzy McReal-time Snazzy Pants to be good. If you get the basics right, the old ways are still the best ways. Now, I admit we're cheating a bit with our third entry because it's not even out yet, but we've seen and played enough of Ukulele to know it's bringing back the colourful fun of your favourite 90s platformers. It reminds us loads of the spirit of games like Spyro, Gex, and that one the Ukulele team made before that was on that other thing. And that's good. If there's one thing last year's Ratchet & Clank PS4 reboot taught us, it's that we're still suckers for double jumping around cartoon environments, collecting stuff and watching cutscenes shinier than Pixar's awards cabinet.
But you know what I really love about Ukulele? It's that funny way they talk.
You know, it's not real words, it's 90s platformer gobbledygook helpfully translated by subtitles, but I love it. It sort of helps your brain engage with the wonderful nonsense of the game's world, and lets you think, yeah, double jumps, spinny roll attacks, chameleon bat combos, all perfectly feasible.
Plus, I like to imagine the voice actors really getting into character as they voice the lines.
Do you guys want to go for one? Yeah. Bit less frantic. Yep.
If you think back to the very first video game you ever played, I reckon there's a good chance, if you're as old as me, that it was down the arcade. They had their own gravitational pull, those places, didn't they? Clawing hundreds of backwards baseball cap-wearing teenagers off the high street and into their neon-lit depths and never letting them go.
There was this one game I can't even remember the name of, and my dad wouldn't let me have a go on it anyway, so I just used to hold the sticks and watch the rolling demo playing in front of me and pretended I was saving the world.
It was a side-scrolling shmup with spaceships in it, and when I saw Resogun, our fourth entry, for the first time, it took me right back. Except now I could actually experience the magic for myself, the elation of swerving through a wall of enemy projectiles before unleashing an attack that beamed half the screen into wherever it is spaceships go when they die. There are no frills on Resogun. I mean, it looks wonderful, it sounds like a 90s rave, and it smashes more particles together than the Large Hadron Collider. But what I mean is, it's just you shooting stuff. And then at the end, a boss bigger than Logic comes along and you shoot that too. And then you get to the next level and shoot more stuff, only this time faster. And then you shoot more.
It's just pure. It's gaming boiled down to its very essence, which is you moving about making other stuff disappear while holding down a button.
It's wonderful and I love it. Thanks for reminding me of simpler times, Resogun. Our next entry, 2016's Doom, is also pure and also about shooting stuff, while at the same time being as insanely fast and wonderfully grotesque as the 1993 original, a game I smuggled past my mum by borrowing it from a mate and hiding the disc inside the box for Gran Turismo.
Robert, that sounds an awful lot like one of those shooting games.
No, it's just all the cars backfiring.
She must have known. Anyway, 2016 Doom is every bit as gorgeous and spectacular as any modern shooter, the big difference being in many modern shooters, you run around killing stuff while the spectacle happens around you, whereas in Doom, the killing is the spectacle, just like it used to be. There's no hiding behind cover here, you're in, bang bang, glory kill, pick up some med packs and armour, out again. Because if you're not, you're in, hesitant, bang bang, dead.
And you're not just any dead either, you're having your arms ripped off and then getting beaten to death with them dead, which is one of the worst types of dead you can be.
You have to keep moving, you have to be accurate, you have to die and get better and learn, repeat, until bang, you get it and move on. Doom is an old school skeleton wrapped in modern muscle, and damn it's good. Our penultimate entry this week is Hyperlight Drifter, a gorgeous action RPG from indie developer Heart Machine that's all about top-down world exploration and brutally fast and unforgiving combat. The retro RPG influence is clear, and not just in the pixel art style,
which is incredible, by the way,
but in the design and structure of the world itself. It's packed with secrets and is begging to be probed and explored. It wants you to spend your time with it, to poke around the edges and admire its beauty, and then dash about everywhere hacking enemies to pieces really, really quickly.
The director, Alex Preston, has confirmed the game is inspired by the likes of old school Zelda and Diablo, and that really shows.
It feels like you're playing a proper old school action RPG. It looks like you're playing a proper old school action RPG.
It is a proper old school action RPG, and it's also brilliant.
Final entry this week, and we're off to the 80s with Hotline Miami, the ultimate in supercharged, gaudy retro brilliance. This game nails that feeling of being down the arcade with your mates on a Saturday afternoon and taking it in turns to have just one more go on that super hard level. Except in Hotline Miami, all the levels are super hard until you get towards the end, when they're just stupid hard.
I remember when it first arrived in the Access office and it did the round about 5 times as each person confidently proclaimed, "Yep, I'm definitely going to do it this time, guys. Definitely this time."
Yeah, dead. Dead, 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 and oh look, dead. Hotline Miami's one-hit kill policy perfectly evokes the unforgiving nature of those old-school arcade shoot-em-ups. Skill has surprisingly little to do with it. It's more like learning a route and honing your thumb muscles to the point where they twitch with virtual lethality, ready to dispense death through instinct before the electrical signal from your brain telling them to press the goddamn shoot button has even arrived. Get good at Hotline Miami and you feel like the arcade hero. You know, the kid who shows up after you've had 27 goes and is all like, let me show you how to do it, and he does it first time and you're all like, whoa, I'm so glad I spent my 50p to watch you do that.
I was never that kid, but Hotline Miami made me feel like I was. About 2% of the time.
And there we go, 7 games that prove old school is the best school. If you can think of any other examples, please share them in the comments. Give us a like if you've ever played a game your mum has told you not to, and please do subscribe if you haven't yet for more of these videos every Friday. Thanks for watching.